What if you could just hit pause on the entire world for 1 week and really see what's going on under the surface? Well, that's exactly what we're about to do. We're going to grab a magnifying glass and zoom in on a single week in mid-November 2025. You'll be amazed by the mix of stories, from sports to global politics, that we're all quietly shaping our world. Let's jump right in.
Just think about it for a second. In only 7 days, an athlete's performance can rewrite the history books. A new travel policy can literally redraw a region's map. A court ruling can decide the fate of an entire forest. And a pop culture moment can be, well, literally set in stone. And we're going to see how all these different threads weave together to tell the bigger story.
So first up, we're heading to the sports world, where one player joined a club so exclusive, it's pretty much the stuff of legends.
Then we're going to look at a huge decision in geopolitics, one that's all about erasing borders to create this massive new travel zone. It's going to change how millions of people get around.
From there, we'll dive into this high-stakes legal battle where the fate of Asia's largest forest was hanging in the balance, pitting environmental protection against some pretty immense industrial pressure.
And to wrap up our preview, we'll get into the incredible power of modern celebrity, with a story about a global superstar who's being honored not with a little star on a sidewalk, but with their very own skyscraper. All right, let's kick things off with our first section, redefining the game. Here, we're looking at how records were just absolutely shattered, both on the field and in the boardroom. Okay, picture this. It's November 15th, 2025. India versus South Africa. The pressure is on. All-rounder Ravindra Jadeja gets to the crease and smashes his way past 4,000 career runs in Test cricket. Now that's a huge achievement all by itself. But believe it or not, that wasn't even the most incredible part of his day.
Because in that exact same game, he also snagged his 300th wicket. Now, to put that into perspective for you, being a world-class batsman who can score 4,000 runs is one thing. Being a world-class bowler who can take 300 wickets is another. To do both, you're basically entering a pantheon of cricket gods.
And just look at how exclusive this club is. I mean, in the entire 140-plus year history of Test cricket, only 3 other players had ever pulled this off. We're talking about absolute certified legends of the game. And with that performance, Jadeja became the 4th member of one of the most elite clubs in any sport, period.
And the action wasn't just on the field. On that very same day, the business of cricket was in total overdrive. It was deadline day for the IPL, the world's richest cricket league, as teams were scrambling to lock in their players for the next season.
This really tells you everything you need to know about the IPL's global power. Of the 173 players who were kept on by their teams, nearly a third of them were foreign stars from all over the world. See, this isn't just an Indian league anymore. It's the place to be for the best cricketing talent on the entire planet, and that shapes the money and the power of the whole sport.
Okay, for Section 2, we're shifting gears from the sports arena to the negotiating table. This week was also packed with major decisions that are going to create brand new rules and new realities for millions of people, from how we travel to what we choose to protect.
So a huge move for the Gulf region happened this week. The Gulf Cooperation Council, the GCC, they approved something called a one-stop travel system. Basically, this is a total travel revolution for the area. Instead of dealing with security and immigration at every single border, you'll now just get checked once when you first arrive. It's all about making travel between countries like the UAE and Saudi Arabia completely seamless. To really get the scale of this, the best comparison is Europe's famous Schengen area. The goal is exactly the same: create a huge borderless zone to just supercharge tourism and business. For the Gulf countries, this is an absolute game changer, and it signals this major push towards deeper economic and political unity. At the same time, a totally different kind of boundary was being drawn, one that was meant to protect something, not to be crossed. India's Supreme Court made this landmark environmental ruling, ordering the protection of the Saranda forest. And we're talking about Asia's largest sow forest here, a vital ecological treasure. But this decision set up a pretty epic showdown. And here's why. That forest sits on top of a mind-boggling 26% of India's entire iron ore reserves. So this wasn't just a ruling about trees. It was a fundamental choice between protecting the environment and tapping into a massive economic resource. The court chose the forest, sending this incredibly powerful message that some natural wonders are just too precious to lose. And rounding out the week's big decisions, India's central bank made a really strategic move in a very sensitive region. They brought in a veteran banker, S. Krishnan, to chair J&K Bank. Now, this isn't just any bank. It's the financial backbone for the crucial and often volatile region of Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh. So this appointment is a clear signal that the goal is to ensure stability and really drive growth there.
And finally, in our third section, we're diving into the world of culture. This is where we see how we remember the past, how we celebrate the present, and how we build monuments that will last into the future. On November 17th, people around the world observed International Students' Day, a day that actually has some deeply tragic and heroic roots. As you can see here, it goes all the way back to 1939 in Nazi-occupied Prague. Student protests against the occupation were met with just unimaginable brutality. It started with peaceful demonstrations, and it ended with executions and over 1,000 students being sent to concentration camps. It's now a solemn, global reminder of the price of freedom and the incredible power of student activism.
So, from a day of solemn remembrance, we pivot to a story about a monument being built for a living legend, one that really shows a completely different kind of cultural power.
Over in Dubai, a brand new 55-story skyscraper is going up, and it's called Shah Rukh's Dubai by Danube. Yes, it is named after the Bollywood megastar Shah Rukh Khan. And here's the really wild part. This is the first time a major commercial tower anywhere in the world has been named after an actor. It's just a stunning symbol of his global brand and a wild new frontier where celebrity and real estate collide.
And the cultural spotlight that week was also shining brightly on Goa, India for the 56th International Film Festival, or IFFI. Now, this was no small affair. It was a global crossroads for cinema, showing over 240 films from 81 different countries. As South Asia's top competitive film festival, it's a huge stage for international filmmakers and a really powerful way to exchange culture.
So, there you have it, just 1 week. A new travel zone, redrawing a map, a forest saved from industry, a sporting record that will stand for ages, a skyscraper named for a star. Each one is just a single thread in the fabric of our world. But the real question is, 10 years from now, which of these threads will have woven the most significant pattern in our history?